Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Wander with JJ. This is Janish.
Hi, this is Juliet.
Today we are going for another adventure which is
Vietnam.
so come follow us through the journey and we'll take you to it. Hey guys, so this was our 10-day trip to Vietnam and we covered Hanoi, Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City. We actually had to keep 2 full days just for traveling between the cities because flight gets delayed sometimes, and let's be honest, you need some downtime to chill and recover in your vacation. So basically, apart from the travel days, we spent 2 to 3 days in each city, hitting up all the must visit spots and trying out the best local food. So our trip kicked off with an evening flight from Bangalore to Hanoi. But of course, it got delayed. We finally landed early the next morning. After checking into a hotel and catching some sleep, we went out to explore the city and dive into the street food scene. It was such a fun start to the trip. Later in the evening, we decided to explore one of Hanoi's most iconic spots, the Hanoi train street. Now, this place is usually packed during the day, but since we went at night, it felt a lot more relaxed. We found a little cafe right by the tracks, ordered some drinks, and just sat there waiting. Every time the train passed, the energy was electric. After the train street, we walked over to the famous beer street, and wow, the contrast was wild. The street was buzzing with people, music spilling out from every bar, and locals alongside tourists, all just out to have a good time. We grabbed a couple of local brews, clinked glasses, and joined the fun. Honestly, nights like this are what Hanoi does best. A mix of energy and the feeling that you're right in the middle of something special. The next morning, we were up bright and early because it was finally time for Halong Bay. It's about a 2-hour drive from Hanoi, and the ride was surprisingly peaceful. As soon as we reached the bay, we boarded our cruise, and that first moment where the boat pulled away, breathtaking. The water had this deep emerald color, and these massive limestone cliffs rose up all around us. It felt like stepping straight into a postcard. Everyone on the boat kind of went quiet for a minute, just taking it all in. There's something about Halong Bay that instantly calms you, even as you're buzzing with excitement. After the brunch, our first stop was Tea Top Island. Now, it's a bit of a climb to the top, but totally manageable. Step by step, as we made our way up, you could catch glimpses of the bay through the trees, and then finally reaching the summit. Wow, the view was absolutely worth it. From up there, the bay stretched out endlessly, dotted with little boats and surrounded by those towering cliffs. The air was fresh, the breeze was cool, and it was one of those moments where you just stand still, take a deep breath, and let it sink in. Of course, we took way too many pictures, but honestly, the view deserved every single one. After Tea Top, it was time to get a little adventurous. We hopped into kayaks and started paddling through these caves and narrow tunnels. The sound of the paddles slicing through the water, the echo inside the caves, and the sunlight peeking in through the cracks made it feel almost magical. At times, it got a bit tricky, but that just added to the thrill. It was one of those experiences where you're laughing, splashing around, and reminding yourself, yep, this is why we travel. Our final stop of the day was a massive limestone cave, and stepping inside felt like entering another world. The cave was huge, with ceilings that stretched way above us, and walls filled with strange, dramatic formations. Some looked like animals, others like frozen waterfalls. Walking through every corner revealed something new and unexpected. The lighting inside gave everything an almost eerie glow, but in the coolest way possible. What made it even better was meeting fellow travelers along the way, sharing laughs and swapping stories as we explored together. By the time we wrapped up, the sun was already setting. The sky turned shades of orange and pink, and the bay looked even more magical under that golden light. As the cruise headed back, we leaned on the railing, quietly watching the colors fade and the first stars appear. It was a perfect ending to a day filled with adventure, nature, and memories that are going to stay with us forever. By the time we reached back to Hanoi, we were completely exhausted, but in the best way possible. You know that kind of tiredness where your body is drained but your heart is so full? Yeah, that's exactly how it felt. And that's what travel days are all about. Today's plan was something we'd been super excited about. A day trip to the absolutely stunning Ninh Binh, which is around 2 hours away from Hanoi by road. Now, you know how sometimes the weather throws you a surprise. Well, for us, it was raining the whole way. But honestly, instead of spoiling the mood, it just added this magical charm to everything. The fields looked greener, the air was fresher, and the mist rolling over the limestone cliffs felt like something straight out of a fantasy movie. So, rain or shine, Ninh Binh is a beauty. Our first stop of the day was the Trang An Landscape Complex, which is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the biggest highlights of Ninh Binh. And guys, let me tell you, if there's just one thing you do here, it has to be the Trang An Boat Tour. So here's how it went. We hopped into the small rowboat and our boatman started paddling us gently down the emerald green river. The cool part? The entire ride takes you through these narrow caves and tunnels that have been naturally carved into the limestone mountains. Every time you pass through one of these dark caves, you suddenly come out into these breathtaking open spaces, surrounded by cliffs, calm waters, and lush greenery. It honestly felt like we were discovering secret hidden worlds one after another. The rain made the whole atmosphere even more surreal. The droplets hitting the water, the mist hanging low over the cliffs. It just felt so cinematic. And to top it, our boat partners were this really fun couple from Korea, and they were absolutely hilarious. Between their jokes and our boatman's calm pedaling, the whole ride turned into such a wholesome memory. The tour itself lasts about 2 hours, but honestly, time flies because you're so busy just soaking everything in. And here's a little tip: if you go, Carry a light raincoat or poncho because the weather here can change quickly. Hats and sunscreen are also a must on sunny days. After the boat ride, we were starving, so we grabbed some brunch nearby. The local places around Trang An serve hearty Vietnamese food. With our stomachs happy, we moved on to our next destination, the Hoa Lu ancient capital. Now, this is a really cool historical site. Back in the 10th and 11th centuries, Hoa Lu was actually the capital of Vietnam. Walking through it feels like sleeping into the pages of history. By the time we got here, the rain had stopped and the skies had cleared up beautifully. We also decided to do a short trek up to a viewpoint nearby. It's not too strenuous, but the views are so worth it. From up there, you can see the surrounding mountains and rice fields stretching out endlessly. It's the kind of view that makes you realize why Ninh Binh is often called the Halong Bay on land. One thing we didn't get to do this time, but I'd 100% recommend you if you have more time, is a cycling tour around Ninh Binh. The roads here cut through villages, rice fields, and scenic countryside, and it's such a peaceful way to explore the area. Next up was hands down my personal favorite part of the day, Mua Caves. But before we tackled the hike, we made a quick stop right next door at this beautiful lotus garden. Guys, picture this. The rain had just cleared, the air was crisp, and everywhere we looked there were bright pink lotus flowers in full bloom. The petals looked so fresh, almost glowing against the green leaves. The best part? It was super quiet and peaceful. Hardly any crowds, just the sound of birds and the gentle breeze. Walking along the little wooden bridges through the lotus ponds honestly felt like stepping into a painting. If you visit in the right season, this garden is such a hidden gem. Pro tip: go early morning or after a drizzle. The flowers look their best then. After soaking up all that beauty, it was time for the main challenge, the climb up to the Mua Caves. Now, this hike is famous for its 500 stone steps that take you all the way up to the top of Mua Mountain. Don't worry though, it's not as scary as it sounds, but definitely be ready for a bit of cardio. As we climbed, we stopped a few times just to catch our breath and of course take photos. Because honestly, every angle is stunning. The steps zigzag up the cliffside and along the way you'll spot dragon statues and little viewpoints that already give you a taste of what's waiting at the top. And then finally the view. Oh my god, totally worth every single step. From up there, you get this 360-degree panorama of Ninh Binh, winding rivers, cutting through endless rice field, jagged limestone mountains rising out of the ground, and tiny boats. The mix of greenery, water, and cliffs is just breathtaking. If you've ever wondered why people call this place the Halong Bay on land, one look from Mua Caves will explain it. We must have stayed up there longer than planned, partly to rest, but mostly because it's the kind of view you just don't want to leave. If you come here, bring a bottle of water, good shoes, and take your time. Trust me, it's an experience you'll never forget. After the climb, we headed to our final stop for the day, Tam Coc. Now, if Trang An felt grand and dramatic with its cave and tunnels, Tam Coc is more rustic, intimate, and laid back. The moment we got into the little boat, We knew this was going to be something special. The ride itself was pure magic. We glided through calm rivers, lined up with rice paddles, passed under low caves, and just took in the serenity of the countryside. No city noise, no rush. Just the sound of oars dripping into the water and the occasional splash of fish. Compared to drowning, Tam Coc felt more personal, like we were floating through someone's backyard, but with movie level scenery. So, Ninh Binh was absolutely one of the best days of our trip in Vietnam. Thanks so much for joining us. See you tomorrow in the next flight to Da Nang. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And catch you in the next one.